Do you struggle to budget consistently? If so, you are not alone. Today, I'm gonna walk you through our budget, how I use it regularly, and show you how it works for us. Hey there, I'm Brittany Flammer. I'm a mom of 5 with videos here all about budgeting and money saving tips. If those are things that interest you, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. We recently moved to a new state with a new job and we bought a new house. So our income and our expenses have changed. The last couple of months have been chaotic and I have not done a great job following up on our budget every month. Let me know in the comments down below with a big yes if you know what I'm talking about, if this has ever happened to you. It's time to get reorganized and go through our budget. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So I've got our budget pulled up in Google Sheets. I like to use Google Sheets because I can access it on any device, anywhere, as long as I have internet. So I use that now instead of Excel. But I will project what we expect our income and expenses to be at the beginning of the month. And then at the end of the month, I'll go through and see what we actually spent, see how we did, see if we need to make any adjustments for the next month. And today is the end of the month. Well, we have one more day left, but we're done spending for the month. So I'm checking in on it today to see how we did. So here, I'm going to start with our income. My husband is on salary. So he got exactly what we expected him to make because he's salary. I teach for VIP Kid, which is inconsistent, but I anticipate around $300 a month. This month, I only made $295. So you can see if I look at the difference there, it's $5 less than what was planned. We didn't have any other side jobs. But we have $500 of other income. Now, this is money from savings. We are currently in a temporary position. My husband's a teacher and got hired partway through the school year. So he is just part-time right now. And then for the next school year, he will be full-time. So we moved and bought a house knowing that right now we're just on part-time income. And so we had money set aside and are pulling $500 a month to cover our living expenses so that I don't have to work a ton of extra hours or my husband doesn't have to try to find side jobs. So that's where that's coming from. In fact, I'm actually gonna hide this column because I don't know if I love it. Okay, donations. After we get paid, first thing we do is donate. I anticipated $380, but I spent $830. That is a huge difference. But that's because we made our donation at the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, we got the government stimulus, and we were not expecting it. So for February, for this month, I paid on the stimulus we got last month. So that's why there's a huge discrepancy. Then next, I put money into savings, and I try to make it as automatic as possible. I like to have multiple accounts, lots of savings accounts open at the bank, and our money comes into a checking account, and then it automatically goes into all these different accounts for when we need it. So I can see where it is. So Roth IRA, we're not getting any benefits right now. So we are contributing $200 to Roth IRA a month, and that's really not very much, but we're in a temporary situation, and it's more of the habit of continuing to do it so that when our income increases, we will contribute more. Car fund, $15 a month. However, if you look, I didn't put any in because we switched banks. We've got all new accounts at a new bank and I haven't set up a car fund. So I need to go set one up and set it on automatic. Guys, I'm lazy. Like human nature is lazy. So if we can set up on autopilot, it will automatically take care of it for us. But I haven't done that yet. So I need to do that. And this car fund is not for a new car. It is to cover expenses that come up or repairs we have to do or licensing, licensing or registering cars. Those expenses that we know are coming, but don't know exactly when or how much they'll be. And $15 is not enough to cover it. We already have some in our car fund. We have a little bit of a cushion there, but it's the habit I want to create and keep it, even though we're not making as much right now, I want to keep that habit. So just 15 is not very much, but it's something. House expenses, I should probably be contributing more to that, but I didn't do anything this month. Vacation, it's automatically in there. Not very much, but at least something's going in there. Kids activities, this is another one. I didn't set up that account at the bank. So I have 2 accounts at the bank I need to go set up. Then we move on to our bills. I like to call them boring bills because these are the things that we have to do. Mortgage was exactly what was expected. As a side note, I would never recommend spending this much on your housing expenses if this were your take-home pay. Most people, most experts recommend 30% of your take-home pay for all of your housing expenses, including like utilities. And we are spending way, way more than that. But we are in a temporary situation. We know my husband's income will be going up in a couple of months. So we were willing to, and we have a good chunk of money in savings, in emergency savings. So we were willing to take that risk. But in general, I would never recommend spending that much of your take-home pay on housing. Utilities, our gas was so much higher than what I thought, but we're in a new house. We're trying to figure out what to expect. And I was doing an average over the year. So this is a tip. If your utilities will let you do an average or levelized bill payment, that is a way to go. Our companies here will let us do that, but not till after we've lived here for a year. And right now we're using lots of hot water and using our gas more than normal. So our bill is really high. So maybe I want to tweak that for next month. Electricity we came in under, our city bill was spot on. Life insurance is the same every month. Car insurance is usually, it varies a couple dollars sometimes. Medical, this is the same every month. Phones, everything else is pretty much the same except for gas. This is gas for our vehicles, and we went way over. My husband's commuting a long ways, so we actually bought another car for him to commute in, but we were getting repairs done on it, so he hasn't started using it. So hopefully our gas will decrease as soon as he starts using the more fuel efficient vehicle. But so you can see we went over on our boring bills, we went over quite a bit in some, but we're just trying to figure it out. This is new for us. But then we move on to the fun bills. This is the stuff that I like to spend money on. It's a lot more fun. And I have each of these categories individually, but I use a budgeting envelope system, which I will link to my video for that right up here. I'll link to that because this is the simplest way I have found to stick to a budget. So we have $735 every month, but I divide it weekly. So I can just glance at my envelope from the week. I stuck to the budget. I had a little bit extra. So anything extra, I transferred into savings. So because I transferred money into savings, I spent the full $735. So it's pretty much cut and dry every month. I don't have to track every single tiny little receipt. Things I want to make note of is we bought a house and we are doing a lot of maintenance, updating to it. So we set aside a budget for house expenses. So we did have a lot of house expenses. We had $863 of house expenses, but that's just because we're repainting and we're doing some decorating and a bunch of things to update the house. And so we had money set aside for that. So I didn't pull that out of so when I get the bills for that, that comes straight out of our account that has the money. So I didn't pull that out of our regular budget. And then car repair. My husband, we have a motorcycle, but it needed some repair and we insured it for the full year because it was so much cheaper. So we had those expenses, but they came out of our car fund budget. So I didn't include that in our regular budget for the month. So that's just things to take note of. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in seeing how I check our net worth. It just takes me a couple of minutes every month, and if you're interested, I'll do a video on it. But check out my playlist with money saving tips right over there and budgeting playlist right down here. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.